Hello, thank you.
Hello. Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
this is lovely. Could we just smile a little while to each other? I just love the sense. So this was all just so interesting now, and I need to find a way to into the Tonglen practice. What struck me now as I listened is this part about you know our patterns, our karmic patterns and habitual patterns, how strong and seductive they are, and how easily we are tending to take refuge in them in some way, and which connects us, which disconnects us to our good heart, to this naturally pressed good heart. And but I just thought now, as these patterns emerge and we can actually see them, this is what I'm doing is not quite the way to go forward. I'm actually harming myself and others, obviously, as well. And Mingo Rinpoche says here that each new moment, when aspects of our past are carried forth into each new moment, that each new moment also provides a chance to relate to old patterns in new ways. That's something I find so empowering to actually take that on board, because that's what you said, Cecily, this possibility to work, to simply to work with our mind and find a method that kind of we can direct towards opening our own heart and relax in this true nature. So that was a very unplanned for typical me now. But I just wanted, so I continue now with our practice. We want to do a Tonglen compassion practice, focusing quite a bit on ourselves, on our own. When I say ourselves, I mean our own suffering aspect, that gets perhaps stuck in a problem and falls back into patterns which are comforting, but not really liberating us. And so just as you know, the Dalai Lama, he often talks about the expression of compassion being warm-heartedness, which is this benevolent feeling of wishing well to everyone. And as you know, that includes us. And as you know as well, there are times when we have this feeling of just being at ease, of being well in our skin, of this feeling of a natural loving ease resting in our true nature, as we know. And we experience that through the blessing of getting all the instructions how to recognize that. So, and just to say again, so this is really a natural, spontaneous, warm-hearted feeling. It's just naturally there. And we naturally wish well. And it is not necessary that we direct that feeling to this person or that person, to an object, or not to that person or situation. It is just naturally there as a radiance of our goodwill. This is, I think, so important to trust that this is just naturally there, an expression of our innermost essence of this openness that Cecily and Martin always point out to us, for us to discover through our practice. It's this radiant clarity and boundless compassion, which is always there. So this is what we are, that's our, what's it called, that is our basis, or this is who we are. And sure, being human beings and having the perception of human beings in of these 6 realms of suffering, surely we sometimes do feel just absolutely shit-like, in a way of not wanting to actually live with ourselves, things don't work out as we wish. No, sometimes, and all kinds of situations can arise, obviously, and this deep sadness that Cecily, you mentioned, that we can see that so much suffering is caused unnecessarily. So saying that, we can bring, what I want to say is we can bring this natural good-heartedness and well-wishing into our suffering. We can just hold any pain or, a sense of hopelessness or depression, sulking. We can just bring it into this, directly into this experience, this temporary experience of this pattern. And so this is so good to know. And I think what is so powerful about the Tonglen practice is that we can actually say yes to what happens, even if it's just rather unpleasant and we fear it and we have a great aversion against it. So just remembering this, I can be there for this too, with this good willingness, this intention of saying yes. I think that's just so wonderful. And I think that we can use the breath, this breathing in, whatever we fear or we feel we are afraid of, the unpredictability of what we're going to experience. That fear, we can breathe it in and be with it. And then things actually do open. So, and then we are in the flow. We are not stuck in a certain concept or a problem. So, God, I talked a long time, but just came out. So, will we just practice? Please, let's just welcome ourselves into just this sense of meeting ourselves, just how we are now. Breathing. Naturally warm-hearted, alive, awake. Just rest in this sense of recognition. And from this viewpoint of just this benevolent, compassionate view of love, you can just look, how am I at the moment? What is my experience just now? How is my mind? Perhaps we could be a bit scattered, but feel a certain mood or tiredness. So we can just gather the scattered mind. So just to be here and relax here. And if there's a sense of an unease or mood, tiredness, we can just be in touch with that. Just allowing it to be as it is. And just gradually, in a kind of very gentle way, we can just breathe this sense of unease, if there is any. We can just breathe that in, just be in touch with it. Saying, yes, I want you. In that way, breathing it in. There's plenty of space there within my heart. You're okay. Breathing the suffering in. And then as we breathe out, we can consider that any relief we may feel by just being present to this and being here in a kind way, relating to our own unease or suffering, we can just simply just let go of the mood, perhaps in a natural way, and send out that relief, or even a sense of joy, warmth into the suffering aspects that we may have met. And so we just keep staying present and doing this for a while. And obviously, what we experience, what we're aware of changes. So we just go with the change and that fluidity. Just breathe in anything that is a sadness or awe in us. We just breathe it in. Breathe out the relief and space. Just let your attention, just place light attention on your physical feelings. Perhaps there is a sense of pain or unease, tension, perhaps a result of an illness we are having. And again, just simply allow yourself to be in touch with this, just be in touch, leaving it as it is. At the same time, just taking it in with your in-breath. And with your out-breath, allowing your release, sense of acceptance, clarity, anything our body may need now. So mind may pop off somewhere else, that's no problem. We just, with our compassionate heart, we can give space to that too and just gather it again back into being at ease with whatever comes. Perhaps we have a tendency to distraction. No problem. Can just meet it. And breathe in any discomfort that bothers us. Sense of failure or guilt even or shame that comes. And send out the joy and humor, sense of connectedness. Whatever feels right to you. So now I invite you to just turn your mind towards something that touched you today. It could be something unpredictable happened and we found ourselves in a response of trying to control it or push it away or immediately go for a comforting distraction, but perhaps we were not easily present with this willingness to stay and attend to it. Something touched us, perhaps a loss or a grief or certain confrontation which made us feel vulnerable. Whatever you are now in touch with, see yourself in that and feel, how did that feel? What was my action or my reaction? Just see yourself with a really kind, loving eye. What happened? And whatever way you were meeting this, we can again just breathe in any sense of failure or agitation or disdain that we may have, that we may direct outwards, but it can as well be directed inwards. You can feel unworthy, impatient. So tune yourself in, breathe in whatever we feel as a difficult place to be in contact with. Just keep this sense of kindness, of welcome, of love, understanding, acceptance. And this is what we are breathing out into our insecurity, anything, sense of stuckness or aggression, worry or distress. Breathing in this simple, momentary experience and letting it, because we are in touch, we can let it dissolve to a space that's joyous, sending ease and reassurance and courage in this part of us. And as we're doing this practice, don't know what it feels like for you now. Just be kind with anything. Sometimes one suddenly becomes numb or one is kind of feeling we can't do this. Anything that comes, we can just simply breathe this in and sending warmth, a stream of love, acceptance, and ease into this momentary feeling. This is not who we are. It's just a momentary feeling. And we could kind of, as we breathe in, let all the suffering that we have had in the past or that we may even experience in the future suffering perhaps of our ancestors, those who helped us and formed us, and who had their own sufferings to deal with, their own karma. Just imagine we can face all that and just breathe it all in, all the struggle, stuckness in having to create social dignity, all these different concepts and aspects, we can just breathe them in. And send out a stream of love into every corner. Our being, and this is coming now out and really reaching and beaming out, reaching other beings who are like us. Sometimes just simply struggling to be at home in their own loving heart. Love, acceptance, forgiveness. Streaming out through our out breath. Warmth, trust, confidence, comfort, all that beings may need. You're breathing in their suffering and breathing out what beings may need. Perhaps our mind is coming back to our own experience now. Perhaps we are touching our own sadness or a sense of isolation, sense of insecurity again. So we breathe that in. And with it, we breathe out the sadness and isolation, all others, in hospitals, in military organizations, schools, everywhere where there's war and violence. Open space. Sending friendship, kindness, all they need. So now we slowly dissolve the images with this sense and this confidence that with the power of the mind and our true nature, the goodness in our heart, just naturally this radiance happened because we had the intention to be there, to feel, to be in touch with ourselves. And whatever way your practice went, maybe good to have a short look, just a sense of, how was this? Where am I now? And if there's a sense of openness, or we can just really just let it sink in as a memory we can come back to. Perhaps we struggled. Then it's wonderful to acknowledge that and leave it as it is and trust that in our own time we can develop this openness, this recognition in our practice. Thank you very much.